The IRS. In my mind, I mean, I wasn't like trying to avoid paying tax.
One thing. Why? Why so far?
One thing about Hollywood, it's never as shiny as it looks from the outside. Behind the red carpets, the smiles, and the picture-perfect sitcoms, there's often a storm brewing that nobody wants to talk about. And when it comes to Will Smith, the man who turned charm into a career, laughter into legend, and pain into performance, that storm might have been closer than anyone realized. D.L. Hughley, a man who's been around this industry long enough to see through the illusion, just dropped a revelation that's shaking the very foundation of Will's image. According to D.L., the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the show that launched Will Smith into superstardom, wasn't the happy, family-filled playground fans thought it was. Behind the scenes, he says, there was manipulation, quiet control, and a young star who let fame turn into dominance. No fists, no yelling. Just a calculated kind of emotional power that left scars on those around him. 4 years. The world saw Will as the ultimate good guy. The funny kid from West Philly who made it, who rapped without cursing, who was proof that charisma could conquer anything.
He was young, and he was inexperienced, and I think he simply had to win.
But DL says the truth is much darker. He describes a man who, even in his early 20s, learned how to bend people to his will. On set, Will wasn't just the lead, he was the sun. And everyone else revolved around him whether they wanted to or not. DL painted a picture that's hard to shake. He said Will would joke with you in public but isolate you in private. If you crossed him, your role got smaller, your screen time faded, your energy got colder. It wasn't aggression, it was silence, control, the kind that eats away at people slowly. The kind of power that doesn't bruise the skin, but breaks the spirit. And that's where things start to make sense when you think about Janet Hubert, the original Aunt Viv. 4 years, she was branded as difficult. A woman who didn't fit in. A problem on set. That's the story fans were told for decades. But DL says that wasn't the truth. Janet wasn't difficult. She was defiant. She was the only one bold enough to stand up to Will when he started throwing his weight around. And that, DL says, was the beginning of her downfall. He claims Will used his pull with producers to get her replaced and then sat back while the media dragged her reputation through the mud. He never defended her. He didn't have to. Silence was his weapon, and the world took care of the rest. Years later, when the two finally reunited on camera, the internet exploded with emotion. Will and Janet cried, hugged, and talked about forgiveness. To fans, it looked like healing. But D.L. Hughley says that reunion wasn't about peace, it was about optics.
There's been a lot of attention given to Will's mindset that night.
Oh, damn, they need their money.
It was about Will controlling the narrative one more time. He needed to look like the bigger man after the slap, after the backlash, after the shine on his perfect image started to fade. According to D.L., Will didn't apologize for Janet's sake. He did it for the cameras, for the redemption arc, for himself. And when you line that up with what happened at the 2022 Oscars, the connection hits you like a wave. DL once said that Slap wasn't about Chris Rock or Jada. It was about control, about a man who couldn't stand being the punchline, about a performer who spent his whole life making sure the joke was never on him. It was the same impulse that ran through his time on the Fresh Prince set, just magnified by years of unchecked power. The same dude who slapped Chris Rock, DL said, is the same dude who blackballed Janet Hubert. Ain't nothing changed. Just the stage got bigger. Those words cut deep because they challenge everything fans thought they knew. Will Smith, the man who inspired millions, who became a global superstar, might have been battling demons of ego and control the whole time. And maybe that explains why, even in moments of success, something in his eyes always looked restless, unfinished. DL described it best. Will wasn't cruel with fists or words. He was cruel with charm. He'd smile while cutting you out, make you feel seen right before making you invisible. Other cast members from the Fresh Prince have made comments over the years that now sound eerily aligned with DL's claims. Karen Parsons, who played Hillary Banks, once admitted the set could feel tense. Joseph Marcel, who played Jeffrey, said Will's energy was intense. Hard for some people to handle. Even Alfonso Ribeiro hinted that while they looked close on camera, off-set, everyone went their separate ways. That doesn't sound like the family image fans were sold for decades. It sounds like people surviving in an environment where one person's spotlight cast everyone else in shadow. But DL didn't stop there. He took it a step further, saying that Will's public persona has always been performance. That every smile, every interview, every grand gesture is part of a script he's writing for himself. Will learned charm, not empathy, DL said. He learned how to look humble, not how to be humble. Those are heavy words, but when you replay the last few years, they start to ring true. The emotional confessions, the self-produced documentaries, the carefully crafted apologies, they all serve the same purpose: to keep the spotlight in his control. DL's not saying Will Smith is evil. He's saying he's human, flawed, wounded, and lost in the illusion of his own perfection. He became the Fresh Prince in real life. A man who never stopped performing, who needed to be loved so badly that he forgot how to simply be real. And maybe that's why his image is cracking now. Maybe the weight of decades of pretending finally caught up to him. Still, Hollywood protects its stars. Many rush to defend Will, calling DL jealous, bitter, irrelevant. But DL didn't flinch. "I don't hate Will," he said. "I just don't respect how he treats people. You can be talented and still be toxic." That line went viral because it's not just about Will. It's about the cost of power everywhere. Fame doesn't create monsters. It reveals them. And the saddest part? The very thing that made Will great, his desire to make everyone love him, might be the thing that made him lose himself. Now fans are revisiting old Fresh Prince episodes, watching with new eyes. Those playful insults toward Uncle Phil, those jokes at Jeffrey's expense, those moments when Will always had to have the last word, they all look different now. They look like a reflection of a young man desperate to stay in control of every room, every laugh, every emotion. Maybe DL Hughley's words hurt because they hit close to the truth, that Will didn't just play a prince. He believed he was one. And maybe that's why even today, when he smiles in interviews or posts cheerful videos online, something feels off. The smile doesn't look like happiness anymore. It looks like armor. The mask of a man who spent a lifetime trying to convince the world he's okay while quietly falling apart inside. In the end, this isn't about tearing Will Smith down. It's about questioning what fame does to people when they get it too young and too fast. DL's not trying to cancel him. He's trying to remind us that idols are just people, and sometimes the laughter we love was built on someone else's silence. The truth is, perfection is a myth, and every myth eventually cracks. So what do you think? Is DL Hughley finally exposing the truth about Will Smith's rise to fame and the price others paid for it? Or is this just another Hollywood story twisted by bitterness and time? Let's talk about it. Drop your thoughts in the comments below.